Y'all, it's been some time, hasn't it? What, about a week and a half? And let me tell you, it's been a week and a half. All good. Little bit of a sad situation that happened, and we'll go over that. But it's glad to be back. We had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope all of you did as well. It was very simple, laid back. We actually started about 10 o'clock that morning and just snacked, and I had already prepped and prepared a lot of food, which made it easy. Actually, this Thanksgiving was the easiest to date. I don't know what was different. I prepped the same. Dinner was always at 2 o'clock as it was this Thanksgiving. So I don't know what was different about it, but it was easy. Of course, there's never stress. You're busy. You're tired, in the evenings, because I start on Monday, moving to Thursday, a little bit each day. But for some reason, last week, it was not tiresome. It was smooth. And it might have been just the mindset. But anyhow, we had a blessed Thanksgiving. And a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs. And like I said, I don't know what made this one different. We had a lot of reflection. We shared stories of the past. My son-in-law shared some of his childhood memories. My daughter shared hers. And we just sat around the dinner table and laughed. And it was wonderful. And a lot of four-wheeler riding. Did some target practice. The grands. But yeah, it was just a wonderful Thanksgiving. But I told you guys that we would meet back up in the kitchen to make our gift basket. Now, this bow, let me get it close, only happened because Mr. Buddy makes my bows. Y'all do not want to see Lippy make a bow. Y'all, it's hard for me to tie my shoelaces, okay? I'm just being honest. But Mr. Buddy made the bow, and I just wanted just a solid red bow. Because this year, when I was going through the Christmas items, and we have downsized tremendously. Actually, I've been doing that since 2020. Every year, I get rid of more and more. Just to simplify things, because where we live now, where the grandkids live, we're not a block from each other, where they were there at the house every day, and we had a lot of children in the area, so we would go all out with the outside decorations, so not only our grandkids, but the neighborhood kids could enjoy, or people passing by the highway could turn in and enjoy the lights. So over the last 5 years, I have downsized. And then last year was my first year to use, I believe it's a 4-foot tree, pre-lit flocked 4-foot tree. And I put it up this year. And Mo, our youngest grandson, I asked him, do you like this tree or the big tree? He said, I love this size tree. I don't feel claustrophobic. And we asked him, do you know what that means? He said, stressed. So as I was going through everything, red stood out this year. I don't know why, but red did. Hence the red bow. And I'm going to share with y'all, as I wash my hands to get ready to work on this basket, a glimpse into the Christmas decorations within the home. It's simple, isn't it? Not a lot. I mainly focused on the hearth, the mantle, and loving the tree up on the hearth. It gives the illusion of height. And then as the gifts go under there and on the floor, it just looks like the tree will set into the packages. So I'm liking the red, the pops of red. There's a little gold and some white, but I kept it very simple and I like it. So let's move to our gift basket. Now, some of you that may just be catching this video for the first time, welcome. And if you're curious, what does she mean by the gift basket? Well, I actually started a playlist 5 weeks ago, and it's called Pantry Staples. And that's where we made a lot of these goodies. Now, I'm not gifting all, but I picked out the ones that I knew that this family would thoroughly enjoy. So leading up through that playlist, I said we would make a gift basket together. I'm gonna make mine. A lot of you are participating and making y'all's gift baskets. But this is a way to gift to a family with children, with all the goodies, to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. So this is the basket of choice. It's a heavy, heavy basket. And this is the first gift. So you see what I'm gonna show you can all be repurposed. And so not just the contents is the gift, but the packaging is as well. And I'm gonna start off with this tin can. There again, staying with the red. And in here will be filled with candy. Not right now, but moving towards gift day. There will be divinity. There will be pralines, fudge. That's what's gonna go into this can. So therefore, they can reuse this each year or even add, their treats, their candy, or repurpose and gift this. So that will sit in the center, and I will bring the camera down to let you see after I get it filled. The only main mason jar that's going in here, because we do have little children that's in this family. This is the oatmeal raisin cookie mix that we made together. And all the labels that you're gonna see are freezer labels. They peel right off, or if you run water under them, they just disintegrate. That's why I like labeling with these, because it doesn't leave any sticky or residue. So here is our oatmeal raisin cookie batter. Now, I think I'm gonna start with these containers, okay? I've got various containers, and there's a reason to my madness. This is our muffin mix. This is enough mix to make 2 batches of muffins. Each batch makes 12 muffins. And these are plastic containers that can be, again, reused next holiday, or candies put in them. So it makes for a great gift. So I'm gonna set this, tuck it just down in here. And then we have the instant pudding. This is enough to make 3 batches of instant pudding. And I'm gonna tuck this in right here. And then we have, the brownie mix. Now this is enough to make 2 batches of brownies. And you're asking, well, how will they know? Because I wrote and gave a recipe card to how to make it, as well as the recipe to make the mixes. I couldn't resist on this little tin can. This is what's storing the hot cocoa. But the hot cocoa is actually in a Ziploc bag. This will make plenty of cocoa for the children and the adults that will last them pretty much through the winter. But I thought that the little tin can was so cute because it's actually a recipe tin. Now, in the Christmas card, I'm gonna list what each container as a hint could be used for, such as this is actually a recipe tin there again, something that they can use. And of course, I will have to deconstruct this to be able to get the big tin out for the candy. So I'm trying to find placement. That'll look good right there. Because what I'm gonna do is I have some clear wrap, and I'm gonna wrap this up like a basket with a big bow on it when I get ready to deliver this. Now, in these containers, these were silver caps, and I had Mr. Buddy spray paint them white, because I think white's a neutral color. And this is the onion soup mix. This will make 5 servings, 5 packages. Now this isn't glass, but so cute. They're again to re-gift or to use for future seasonings. Here is our ranch powder. Again, he painted the lids for me. I'm just not a silver person. And then we have the cream of soup. It looks like a small container, but it doesn't take much to make a can of cream of soup, whether that be chicken, mushroom, or celery. And I showed that in the Pantry Staples playlist. So we're gonna add that probably right here. Like I said, I will rearrange some of this, but again, I've got the clear wrap going on. This is our chicken gravy. And the reason why I chose these 2 jars, and I'll show you what's in there, is because here is a reusable lid for a mason jar, but the 2 jars that I chose from my stash are measuring cups. This goes from 1/4 to 1/2 to a cup of liquid. So the young lady has a measuring cup, actually 2. So she could reuse these jars as measuring jars instead of like the old glass, you know, ones that have the red ink, and a lot of times they fade. These mason jars are old, and years ago that they would put the measurements on the jar. So like I said, my brain was thinking, what can I use that could be reused? So that was the chicken gravy, and then the brown gravy. There again, thinking about what this family would use. I didn't give the biscuit mix. They don't care for biscuits. And in this cute little jar was the apple cider that we did together. Because it only takes 1.5 tablespoons to 1 quart of water, that's plenty. And she can reuse this jar for spices or mix up more of the apple cider. But when I saw this little, and yes, the labels could be better, but like I said, I have the labels and they peel right off. So there is the apple cider mix. And I'm probably going to, let's see, I will tuck it right here. Oh, that'll be cute. And I may rearrange some of this. I wanted the tin cans to really stand out. Oh, I like this better. And then this can go here. Perfect. And then of course, like I said, I will fill this up with candy and the little index cards. And I've just got a gold ribbon so the eyes can see it and she can pull it out. And that's the little recipe book that I made of everything in the basket, how to mix it for future storage or how to mix it for individual use. And I think that they're going to be quite pleased with this basket. Who wouldn't? And there's no telling what she'll use the basket for, but it's really a beautiful basket. It really is. And there we have it. Looks a little cluttered, but I'm probably going to raise this up with maybe some styrofoam to bring some height once I get the candy in there. So guys, it feels great to be back with y'all. It was a much needed break, and we didn't do any social media. we just really just gravitated to spending time together. Not that I'm going to end on a sad note, but many of you know about our sweet cat, Miss Lulu. Many of you know her as the garden cat. She loved to be out in the garden, especially if the camera was rolling, because she had to make her appearance. It was 3 years ago this November the 10th, that we found her in the woodshed. Obviously she was spayed because her little ear was clipped. Took her to the vet because she was kind of feral, kind of tame. It was an in-between. And they checked her out, said she was about a year old. And we just kept her quarantined in the garage. Matter of fact, it was when the garage had that old wooden door and we were still waiting for the new one to come in. So we quarantined her for about 2-3 weeks. It was wintertime. Fed her off of the litter box so she could get acquainted with us. Well, fast forward, she was Miss Lulu. You know, she was we called her the chicken wrangler. She loved the chickens. If there was a predator, you would see her out there with those chickens. Absolutely loved the chickens. She was really attached to me. She was finicky, as some cats could be, but she was very routine. The security cameras at the same time, no matter what time of day. Well, during the day that's my coffee pot. During the day she was in her garage on her bed. But if she was out and about, it was the same pattern that the cameras would catch. Creature of habit. Well, on the 16th of November, that morning, she ate about 5 a.m. because I'm up between 4 and 5, usually between 4 and 4:30. And she ate out in the garage. She got her loving, and then she walks down the driveway, and she always cuts over into the property, and she waits till daylight. And it's a game, so right at daylight, when I'm going to open up the chickens, she plays a game. I know she's behind this one tree, but she will run like I didn't see her and get ahead of me and flop over, want to be rubbed. So it was a game that we played going to open the chickens as well as coming back to the house. Well, at 5:30 on the 16th of November, she made her path down the driveway, and it looks like she turned, and she's not been seen since. We went to every tract of woods. The neighbors checked their security cameras. Matter of fact, the 2 houses that she would visit, which would be next door to us, they checked the security camera. She loved to go over there and lay in their front yard and look at the squirrels between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. Mr. Barry, which is across from us, he would laugh because she would only go to his side of the yard that faced the road, you know, where our driveway is. And he would call her name, and poof, she would take off to the driveway and turn and look at him like, you can't say my name. So he always thought that was comical because she would lay underneath this cedar tree hunting squirrels. She's only got 1 squirrel in all this time. Not very successful, but in her mind, she was going to catch a squirrel. So everyone has looked at their cameras. There's been no predators we can find. They've checked buildings because, you know, she got in somebody's building, but it wasn't like her to roam. This property was her property. Like I said, she never roamed. But she disappeared, and it hit hard. But I look at it like this. She was sent to me, and I say to me because she was very close to me, about 10 weeks before I lost my precious Gigi, that many of you have followed us, so you know she was my 14-year-old Boston. And I always said, you know, thank you, Lord, for comforting me through another garden companion, another lap companion. And that's the way I looked at it. And on September the 20th of this year, we rescued a Papillon. He's 5 to 6 years old. We named Charlie. And Charlie's starting to trust. He's starting to get into his groove. We have to be very hands-on with him. He doesn't require a lot, but we've had to secure the property so he can walk without a leash because he loves to run. But after a week it went by, it came across that maybe, just maybe, it was her time to go home. And Charlie, sorry guys, and Charlie was sent here, there again, as my comfort. I don't know. That's my thinking, that's my feeling, because the coincidence of those two situations do parallel together. So I'm still holding out for hope, because I think most of us, we're creatures of closure, regardless of what's going on, you know, or I can speak for myself. I'm someone who likes closure. I depend on closure. But then I also know that sometimes that closure is not seen, is not heard, is not known. And I have to accept that. But for right now, I'm holding out hope. And if Lulu doesn't return, then God gave me Charlie to be my garden companion. So guys, don't take my sadness or my tone or the few tears that you might have seen to not let this video be down. Let it lift us up together and know that life still continues and we still have to find a smile. And Lulu gave me many smiles. So here is my basket. Email me pictures of your baskets that you guys are doing. And I'm sure they're going to be absolutely beautiful. Probably blow my little basket away because I'm not the craftiest person. But there's a lot of love in this basket, just like I know there's going to be a lot of love in y'all's baskets. So it feels good to be back. We are caught up on pretty much, there's nothing happening in the garden. A lot of, you know, growing of the fall greens, and the greens was out of this world, by the way. But everything else is looking good. We do have some cold temps coming our way tomorrow night and Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday night. So the frost covers is working. It rained all day yesterday. I mean, all day, which we needed the rain, but it was just yucky. And it's actually overcast and kind of blah today. Today is Sunday. So, yeah, tomorrow's the 1st of December. And I said I was going to have this done by the 1st of December, and I did. But it feels good to be back. And thank you guys for smiling with us, laughing with us, and sometimes, you know, shedding a tear. It means the world to me, and it means the world to Buddy. So as always, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. And I will see you guys on the next one.